Welcome to Mr. Writer. My name is Derek and I am the voice of this channel. We are now at the week 3 of our online course. Once again, we are very thankful for everyone that showed support and watched our first 2 videos. With that being said, let us proceed for the topic of this week. Now that you have reached this video, I shall assume that you already watched our last video which talked about online literature and online novels. If you haven't watched it, then be sure to check that video out first before you watch this. But if you are already done with it, then let us proceed. If you are an aspiring online writer, then you need to figure out first what kind of novel you are going to write, and in order for you to decide, I am going to present to you the main categories of online novels. The 2 main categories that you need to know in order to write your own novel are the male category and the female category. The male category are those type of novels that focuses on magic, fighting, and action, which are commonly catered for men, while the female category are those that is focused more on romance and affection that is usually catered for women. Now before you react, I'm not telling you that females should not read the male categorized novels and vice versa. You should note that this category was created based on the market, which means that most of the readers of the male category are men, and that is also the same for the female. Now let us dive deeper on the male category, which is where my novel belongs. Just like I stated earlier, the male category of online novels are novels that are created for mostly men that prefers for action novels. Of course, there are going to be women that also prefer this category, but this category is dominated by men, which is why it is called male category. The most famous genre under the male category is the fantasy genre. This genre covers a lot of different things, but the main highlight of this genre is of course its different types of elements such as magic, warriors, knights, dragons, magicians, and everything else that is part of our imagination. Famous novels such as Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings are under this genre. Another genre that is recommended for your own novel is the transmigration or the reincarnation genre. This genre is all about protagonists being transferred or reincarnated in another world, starting their new life there. This concept is very simple, yet it is extremely popular in the online novel community. Even my own novel is part of this genre. There are also other different types of genres such as systems, weak to strong, and video games, which has also their own fan bases. Now let us talk about the female category. This category is dominated by genres with romantic settings. The most common genre under this category is the contemporary romance. The main idea behind this is instead of having a Cinderella-like female character, we have a strong and an independent woman falling in love with a male counterpart. I am not really that knowledgeable in this area, but I do know that in this day and age, people prefer a strong and independent character rather than a traditional damsel in distress girl. Even with all of these categories and genres that I presented to you in this video, do not be afraid to mix and mash them. Do not be limited to one category only. You can combine fantasy with romance, which could make your story an even more interesting one. This is your own story. These genres are the ones that are very popular and very common in the online community, but if you prepare something else, then do not be afraid to do it. It is completely fine. In the end, you are your own boss. You can do whatever you want. Now let us have our recap before we end this week's video. There are 2 main categories of online novels which are based on its market. These are the male category and the female category. The male category are those that are focused more on action, which are of course catered for men, while the female category focuses more on romance and drama, which is catered for women. With that being said, that brings us to the end of this week's video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to Mr. Writer. Also, comment down below what category or genre would you like to try out yourself. Once again, this is Derek, the voice of Mr. Writer. See you again next week.